Please welcome Jermain Defoe. What do you, I mean, so look, you've been here for a minute. What do you make of the experience so far? I don't mean the show, I mean Toronto.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been great. A fantastic city with lovely people. And yeah, I suppose you try and settle in as quick as you can. But obviously for me, the most important thing was to make sure that I got off to a good start. And yeah, it's been good. I've really enjoyed it.
That to leave the EPL and to leave that environment to come here must be really, and like, we think, oh, it's exciting, he's coming here, but what's going on inside that guy's head?
Yeah, at the time, it was difficult because my whole life in England, my whole career in the English Premier League, a lot of years at Tottenham Hotspur with a lot of friends. So it was difficult, if I'm being honest. But, you know, at some point in my career, I always said that I would like to go to a different country, play in a different league. And the opportunity came about, and it just felt like the right thing to do. Over here, so much is made of the Drake phone call. It was funny, actually, because I was actually in London with my cousins having something to eat. This number came up, like +1 something. I thought, who's this? So anyway, I picked it up. Jermain is Drake. But I thought it was a wind-up. Yeah. I thought it was probably one of the. I thought it was probably one of the players at Tottenham. Yeah. Just trying to wind me up. So I sort of like played it cool. I was like, okay. I left it for a bit, and he spoke more. Asked him a few questions, and then I was like, wow. Because obviously Drake's someone who, you know, I love his music. Yeah. You know, fantastic artist, and you know, a gifted guy. So yeah, you know, it was amazing. When I was first covering the Raptors, when the NBA first came here, one of the real surprises that a lot of the players who signed with the Raptors experienced was they thought, well, this is a really diverse city. And I know there's racism all over the world, here included. But I was thinking about your story, you getting pulled over by the cops and going through drama still, no matter what you've accomplished. How do you know that? Because it's true, right? But no matter who you are, no matter how famous you are, at the end of the day, if you're a black guy in a fancy car, you're going to get pulled over by the cops. Yeah. Right? Have you noticed a difference here in any way? I've only just started driving, to be honest. Just only just run the blocks because it's a little bit strange on the left-hand side. Yeah. So I'm a little bit nervous. And on the other side of the road, it's a bit strange. But obviously I understand what you're saying, but I think in my head I always sort of like, any negative I always try and turn into a positive and really not to try to let things affect me or bother me. And obviously, you know, I understand that happens, but at the same time, you know, if that happens to me, I'll sort of like just brush it off, get on with my day, and really like try not to let other, you know, people get to you. What was that first moment when you looked around and thought, wow, I can't believe I'm here? You know, when you started to get success in your career? I still do that now, to be honest. You know, there's times when I wake up in the morning and you sort of like reflect on things and you look around and you see what you have. You know, I think it's only normal to sort of like just think, wow, it's been a long journey, but you know, all the hard work's been worth it, and it's just an amazing feeling. Stick around, more with Jermain right after this. All right, coming up with Jermain, some real talk about his mother and David Beckham. It's back here. It's Jermain Defoe from Toronto FC in the MLS. When you first heard that Beckham was going to the LA Galaxy, what were your thoughts? At the time, I was shocked because he was from Madrid, right? So obviously, I was shocked at the time. But speaking to David, you know, he loved it there. Yeah. He enjoyed his time there. Was really successful. And yeah, I suppose again, you know, I thought about that when I made my decision. I think about the stuff you do with Prince's Trust, and as a person with profile and as an athlete who has a good living, there's more to sport than just you and scoring. It's what you can do with it. Yeah. How did that come to you? Yeah, I think you have to understand that, obviously, in being successful, you know, you can give something back. And I've always thought that was important. That's why, you know, I've always done a lot of charity work, obviously through the club. And obviously, like you mentioned, the Prince's Trust, an ambassador of Prince's Trust. Launched my foundation, Jermain Defoe Foundation, last year. And other bits and pieces. I had a project at Tottenham called 18, where I was a mentor to a group of teenagers who were in foster care. And so things like that, you know, for me, it's so important to give something back, because I understand how hard it is for the youth growing up, and some of the boys might say, I want to play football, but, you know, I can't get a trial, and it's difficult. And I think because it's so difficult, then they go out and they want to earn quick money, and they might get involved in something which they shouldn't. But I think that's what happens, but it's difficult.
I mean, suppose you would have faced some of those tough choices when you were a kid, too?
Yeah, I did. To be honest, I did. But I think, you know, I was lucky enough to have great parents. My mum was really strict with me, so I was in bed by 9 o'clock. So.
Dude, when the paparazzi say stuff about you, your mom goes off. She does not appreciate the coverage.
And I suppose that, you know, as a parent, you have to be like that with your kids, because I suppose the early stages that are important. You know, it's important for your kids to have good manners, and...
There she is right there.
Yeah. It's important for your kids to have good manners and be respectful. So yeah, I suppose as a parent, it's important to be like that.
I imagine for your mother, and maybe I should ask her this question next time, the idea that, so she sees she's got this kid growing up in a tough neighborhood. There's tragedy in your family, certainly. You know, you've lost family members. Mom's just trying to do whatever they can do to teach their kids this is the right path. Could you get the sense that she was just trying to do that kind of stuff?
No, at the time, I think when you're a young kid, you don't realise, to be honest. It's not until you get older and you sort of like, you sit back and you thank your parents, because when I was young, you can imagine I had a lot of energy. I wanted to be out on the streets. You know, there was times where I was in my bedroom and I couldn't, because I lived on an estate. So there was times where I was in my room and I looked out the window, you know, all my friends were sort of like sitting on the bench with their friends, probably smoking and drinking, talking to girls, you know, and you want to be a part of it. Maybe I didn't want to smoke and drink, but I didn't mind being there, you know, on a bench just with my friends, just chilling out. Yeah. But obviously, as you get older, you understand that, you know, maybe if I would have done that, then I wouldn't have been here today.
Did she talk to you about her choices and say, here's why you can't go out?
Every day.
Yeah?
Every single day. I can still hear it in my ears.
When's the first time you met Prince Charles?
The first time I met Prince Charles was probably a few years back, I would say. You know, being involved in the Prince's Trust, and being lucky enough to meet the Prince, you know, was fantastic. But
how incredible that is for your family, to see you, and for your mom to see you. There he is.
And Prince Charles actually sent me a Christmas card.
Right, weird, right?
Which was crazy. Like, I was like, I was showing everyone that came into my house, I was like, yeah, look at this. It was amazing. Like, it's crazy, obviously, growing up in East London, and then you're in a position where, you know, Prince Charles sends you a Christmas card. It's a bit mad.
What a pleasure to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, no problem.
Really appreciate that.
Cheers,
check out his foundation, JermainDefoeFoundation.org. Toronto FC's number 18, everybody. Jermain Defoe. It's a pleasure being with you. Good things.